Library of Heaven's Path. Chapter 59. The Frenzied Students. I have already found an excuse for grandfather to take action. Teacher Chao Shang has a student named Lu Yang, and this Lu Yang was coerced by Zhang Xuan to become his student. Teacher Chao Shang has already applied for an enlightenment will trial, which will be conducted tomorrow. By then, as long as grandfather makes a move, it would be an easy task to strip him of his license. Shang Bin squeezes these words through gritted teeth. The deception Chao Shang spoke of turned into coercion through his words. There is a world of difference between these two words. Deception only means that there's something wrong with that person's personality. On the other hand, coercion is a matter of morals. Coercion. Are you sure? Elder Shang Chen is taken back. I'm sure. Shang Bin nods his head affirmatively. If that's the case, how about this? Tomorrow, I will invite Elder Mo over for him to witness the process. If the result of the enlightenment will trial shows that Lu Yang did not willingly become his student, then there is the possibility for him to be stripped of his teaching license. After hesitating for a moment, Elder Shang Chen says, "Thank you, grandfather." Excitement shines in Shang Bin's eyes. With the presence of teachers comes qualifications, and the organization that protects the identity of teachers is the Teacher Guild. The guild has the authority to inspect the actions of teachers, as well as to strip them of their license. There was a similar organization called the Ministry of Education in Zhang Xuan's previous world. Teachers are role models. To guide a student along their path, they must first make the students concede to them, so that they are willing to learn from them. If they were to coerce them, thus causing the student to be jaundiced, it is possible for their licenses to be revoked. As for how to gauge whether one is truly willing to become the student of a teacher, the enlightenment will trial is the most impartial method. Brat, you might be gleeful now, but let's see how you can continue being so arrogant when your teaching license is revoked tomorrow. Upon the thought that he would be able to exact vengeance for all of the grudges in the past, Shang Bin clenches his fist subconsciously and a surge of exhilaration runs through his body. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. Zhang Xuan doesn't know that someone has already set up a ploy against him. After a night of rest, he feels energized. Looking into the mirror, he notices that after cultivating the Heaven's Path golden body yesterday, his body became even whiter and smoother, similar to that of an infant. There isn't a single scar or such on his body. Overall, he looks much younger as well. Those who are oblivious to his identity might even think that he is a student. Not bad, he says before heading to the classroom with giant strides. Arriving at the classroom, the first thing he notices is that the interiors of the room has been cleaned spick and span by his 5 students, and even the drinking water has already been boiled. Wang Ying, Lu Yang, Zheng Yang, Zhao Ya and Yuan Dao are all energized. All of them stare at Zhang Xuan with looks of reverence and excitement. Initially, these few students had all thought that they were deceived into acknowledging a fellow who was last in the teacher qualification examination as their teacher. However, after the lesson yesterday, they realized that even though his reputation is terrible, he is, indubitably, an incredibly capable figure. This feeling resonates especially so for Wang Ying. After reciting those theories her teacher spoke of to her father and the elders of the family, they were all filled with praises for him. In fact, there were even some parts of it that they were incapable of comprehending. After which, they insisted in bringing Wang Dao over to acknowledge him as his teacher. From this incident itself, his standards are clear to see. How can one not feel excited upon having such a person as their teacher? Seems like everything is in order today. Zhao Ya, take this medicinal herb, crush it into powder and swallow it along with water. Also, this is a cultivation technique that I have just handwritten. If you cultivate by the methods written on it, you should be able to fully recover in 3 days or so. Seeing the expressions reflected in everyone's eyes, it is impossible for Zhang Xuan to not know what they are thinking. Nodding his head, he passes the frigid sun mother grass, which he bought yesterday night, and a book to Zhao Ya. Zhao Ya's illness was caused by her cultivation of a pure yin cultivation technique. After browsing through all of the books in the teacher's compendium pavilion, Zhang Xuan used the Library of Heaven's Path to derive a solution for her problem. Even though the cultivation technique pales far in comparison to his Heaven's Path divine art, it is still a skill derived from the extraction of the essence of 10 different books, and it is still extraordinarily valuable. There are still flaws within it, but the remaining ones don't really affect the whole situation. Yes. Zhao grabs the medicinal herb and places it into her embrace before casually flipping open the book. She notices that the ink is still fresh, and it is clear that it was just written. After taking a brief look at it, her eyes narrow and she looks at him in disbelief. Teacher Zhang, although I am new here, I have heard of most of the renowned secret manuals in the academy. This manual is several times more incredible than my white jade pure maiden skill. Why have I never heard of it? Furthermore, why isn't there a name on this book? As the daughter of a city lord, Zhao has a massive collection of books in her home. She has browsed through many different secret manuals, which help to build her eye of discernment. This book in her hand is clearly several folds stronger than the white jade pure maiden skill that she cultivated before. However, why has she never heard of it? Whenever one copies a cultivation technique, one would always write the name of the creator on it. However, not a trace of information on its creator can be seen on this book, causing Zhao to be puzzled. Oh, this book is something that I have just compiled and wrote down based on your physical condition, so there's no name for it. If you find it difficult to refer to it like that, you can name it as you like. Zhang Xuan says. The Library of Heaven's Path extracts the correct portions of each secret manual and compiles them into a book. The book that is compiled by the library does not have a name, and he can't be bothered to name it either. Thus, he passed it to her right after he casually copied it down. He didn't expect for Zhao to ask about it, thus he answers it casually. What? Teacher wrote it himself. This means, this is a cultivation technique created by teacher. Not only Zhao was taken aback, their eyes and all of them nearly pass out on the spot. Every single one of those who managed to successfully create a cultivation technique were grandmaster level figures, experts who left a mark in history. For their obscure teacher to be capable of creating a cultivation technique, not to mention such an advanced one, are you for real? You can say so. The Library of Heaven's Path cannot be explained, and these books came out of nowhere. Thus, it doesn't matter whether Zhang Xuan says if he is the one who created them or not. Thinking nothing about it, he casually nods his head. Incredible. White Jade Pure Maiden Skill. This skill was created by a Fighter 8 Dan Zongxi realm expert in our family. For teacher to be able to create a cultivation technique of much higher tier than this so easily, exactly how strong is he? Seeing him admit to it, the 5 students find themselves on the verge of going insane. Since the inception of Haotian Academy, there had been less than a few who had successfully created a cultivation technique throughout its century of history. Every single one of them were reputable and influential figures. Yet, their own teacher is capable of the very same feat as well. They find themselves giddy-headed from the reverence they are feeling towards him. Furthermore, the most important of all, what did teacher Zhang just say? He said that, if you find it difficult to refer to it like that, you can name it as you like. The heck? Every master went through a lot just to create their own cultivation technique. Thus, they view it as their treasure and only pass it down to their main disciples. Yet, after creating a cultivation technique, not only did this teacher Zhang freely gift it to others, he is even lazy to name them, allowing his students to name them as they please. One must know that the future generations tend to only remember the one who names the skill, rather than the creator himself. Such an opportunity to leave his mark in history, but he isn't bothered about it in the least. Isn't he way too indifferent to material successes? One's conduct can't get any nobler than that. No wonder teacher Zhang still remains as an obscure figure despite being so capable, even carrying the notoriety as the worst teacher in the academy. To think that he would be such a noble person, a person who views fame as dirt. Teacher Zhang. Upon thinking about these, the eyes of the 5 students redden. They are so moved that they are on the verge of bursting into tears. What's wrong with you all? Seeing his students who were still acting normally a moment ago suddenly staring at him with reddened eyes, Zhang Xuan is confused. These students, could they have gone mad at the same time? If you find any errors, please let us know in the comments below so we can fix it as soon as possible. Also, like and subscribe to our channel to get notified of the latest chapter release.